In the harvest of 1931, I was driving an old bundle wagon down the farmer's pike one harvest evening. I remember it was getting pretty close to sunset, and that harvest moon was shining down so nice, and I could see down the highway as the old horses was trotting along the image of a automobile approaching me. As it came closer, I thought, boy, there's a new car. And as it drove up beside me, it was. It was a 1931 Chevrolet Coupe, maroon in color, sleek and nice. I thought, boy, there's a lucky guy. The door opened and Horace got out, my brother. He walked over to the wagon. He said, do you want to take this car and drive it? I just now bought it, brought it home from the car dealers, brand new. I got tired driving that old 1928 Chrysler that had nothing but flat tires and blowing spark plugs and bad points. I finally decided to buy me a new one. And I thought about you first. I thought maybe you was tired and you wanted to drive it. So if you'll take it home, take it out this evening and put the first few miles on it, I know that you'll take care of it. I'll take the bundle wagon and we'll both be happy. I thought, well, that's really nice. So I got in the new Chevy and started home, and here he come along behind the old bundle wagon, trotting along. When I got home, Mom had a tub of warm water for me. The sun had warmed up during the afternoon, and she had a nice supper of stewed apples and things that we used to have around home in the good old days. I cleaned up a little and put on my new trousers and shirt. And the moon shining so nice, I got out and started in that new car with a little money in my pocket. And I thought, what a utopia that has befallen me. Who would ever dream that I'd had all these luxuries of life? So I went and picked up my girlfriend and drove around through the countryside. I don't know why, but I think that I wasn't too happy. There was something wrong. This girl I had wasn't the girl of my choice. But I still drove the old 31 Chevy back and forth. Didn't care too much about girlfriends. The thing I was concerned about was just getting by. A young country boy, I wasn't worried about girls. But I'll tell you one thing that I was concerned about. I had an ambition, and I was trying to earn from my harvest wages enough to prepare me in a trade of life that I might provide sometime for a real girlfriend. My ambitions at that time was to make somebody look real sleek and nice and charming. All I could think about was to be a barber. Well, I guess I earned enough money somehow or other to be a barber. Still driving that old 31 Chevy. And in a little country town one night, I don't know whether it was in the harvest season, autumn season, spring, or what it might have been, but I found the girl of my choice. And as we rode down the highway in the old 31 Chevy, I knew right then that I'd found all the things important to me: a trade, a girlfriend, the love, all the things that would be needed to make a life more abundantly. But still, I didn't have very much money. Times were hard back in those days. And as we rode along, I asked this girlfriend of mine what she wanted to do. I had a little change in my pocket, not much. And I hoped when I asked her that her demands wouldn't be too extravagant. This girlfriend looked over at me and she said, "You know what I want to do tonight?" And I said, "No, I don't." She said, "Well, I just want to go home and see Mom." I thought, well, that's real nice of you. That's about what I'd like to do. So we passed the old homestead, and I went in and told my mother that I'd found a girlfriend, and I was taking her home. So we went down to see her mom. You know, about that time, my brother had a girlfriend, and I had one, and he said, "Now, you can't go see your girl and me go see mine, 'cause Mom won't have anybody watch her." And I said, "Well, I know that as well as you do, but you picked a girlfriend that lives clear up Muncie, and mine just lives down here across this little pasture land." And I said, "Golly, that's no problem." So I engineered a way to take care of that problem. I said, "Now, Mom, I tell you, I gotta go see my girl. She lives right over across that hill, and you know where she lives just as well as I do. And see that window? There's a window there, and that's where the old chair sits. And right inside of that window is where I'm going to be sitting. Right inside of this window, you set that kerosene lamp. Turn it up pretty high, just so it don't smoke a chimney. And if you get scared, you blow that light out. And I'm going to tell you something, Mom. You don't have to worry, 'cause there's somebody coming around that curve up there just so fast that nobody's got a chance to hurt you." I've always been a-watching the flicker of that light. It's never gone out. I've sat there hand in hand and visited my girlfriend, and that old light's never gone out. I don't think that light will ever go out. I don't think that I'm going to have to rush home to save my mother. I know that my mother had a way of saving herself through faith and trust and hope and the quiet ways that she went about things in this life. My mother is there safely. And I can take my time without horror and fear, for I don't think the flicker of that old light will go out. But I do know one thing, that when this life for me is about over, the things that I'm going to be thinking about most is to take the hand of my sweetheart and those I love and go home to see my mother.